Everyone, thank you for joining us today for our webinar, Dynamics GP Retirement, What Does It Mean for You? My name is Katie and I'll be the facilitator today. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question area in the control panel on the right-hand side of your screen and we'll answer questions at the end. This session will be recorded and posted on our blog as well as shared with you later this week. Now, I'd like to introduce our presenter today, Tracey Santos, the practice lead of our account management team at Encore. Tracey, pass it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Katie. And good morning, good afternoon to everyone out there in the Dynamics GP community. So happy that you could join us today. Really appreciate that. So let's get started. I don't want to keep us on the line too long. Here's our agenda. So just quickly have a look at that. It's saying a thank you, the announcement, and kind of what the path forward looks like for you as a valued GP customer. So we're starting this webinar with a heartfelt message of appreciation to all of you. Encore is grateful for our Dynamics GP clients that have partnered with us over the years. Some of you have been partnering with us for over 30 years. Does anyone on the call remember Great Plains DOS? GP Release 1.0 for Windows was one of the first multi-user accounting system based on Windows 95 to run as a 32-bit software was released in 1993. Your support and dedication have been essential to building an incredibly strong GP community. We are grateful to be your partner. We want what's best for your business and your goals. On-premise solutions are not going to provide the benefits that you need for your business moving forward. Microsoft is channeling its innovation and investment into cloud solutions and technologies. Cloud solutions elevate business performance through AI capabilities and enhanced security. Microsoft is accelerating their investment in Dynamics 365 Business Central to address the ERP needs of small and medium-sized businesses. Microsoft has been getting feedback from the GP base over the previous 6 years to ensure that Business Central is ready for you. With advancements in technology and changing market dynamics, business leaders are looking at their operations tools now more than ever to stay competitive, drive growth, improve profitability, and ensure long-term company success. Microsoft is committed to ensuring they offer robust and innovative solutions to meet these needs. Dynamics 365 Business Central is Microsoft's flagship small to medium-sized business ERP product, optimized to help businesses thrive in a new world of cloud and AI computing. I was going to say to you guys, I just did a course where it says, don't read the slides, but also don't talk when you put the slide up because everyone's reading the bullet points, not listening to you talk. So it's kind of a conflicting message there. So let's not show up to a gunfight with a spoon. 2010 technology is not going to enable you to accomplish your goals, support your team, and stay competitive. Often when I'm talking to our customer base, I say, if you were going to start a business today, would you purchase an on-premise ERP solution? Like today, would you do that? So staying current with technology is crucial for several reasons. Efficiency and productivity, streamline processes making tasks faster and easier, leading to significant time and cost savings. Competitive advantage, gain a competitive advantage by offering better products or services, improving customer experiences, and operating more efficiently. Security, older technologies may have vulnerabilities that can be exploited by cyber threats. Staying updated helps protect against these risks by ensuring you have the latest security features and patches. Remove the risk, have peace of mind, never worry about recovery, business continuity is guaranteed. Innovation, keeping up with technology fosters innovation. It allows individuals and organizations to explore new possibilities, create new products, and improve existing ones. Relevance. In a rapidly changing world, staying current helps individuals and businesses remain relevant. It ensures that skills and knowledge are up to date, which is essential for career growth and business sustainability. You think after 30 years of doing presentations, I wouldn't get tongue-tied, but not the case. Adaptability. Being familiar with the latest technology makes it easier to adapt to future changes. This adaptability is crucial in a world where I knew I was going to have trouble with that word. The adaptability is crucial in a world where technological advancements are constant. All right. We've gotten so much out of GP, but it has taken us as far as it can. We are at the point where we can take the next steps easily. It's not scary. We've spent 6 years honing our processes and licensing. We have moved some of our Dynamics GP consultants that you work with on a day-to-day basis to the Dynamics 365 Business Central team. We have done the migration for many of your colleagues, and we're here to migrate you in the meantime, we're here to support you for as long as GP is supported. A question I get quite often, what about my GP history? And you can have all of your history if you want it. Sometimes, clients who've been with us for 20 years, maybe you don't want to bring 20 years of history over, but we've got that ability to do that. If you want to go to Business Central and you say, great, I want to have all my GP history there, absolutely. That's definitely in your cards going forward for sure. You can have access to all that GP history if you wish to do so. I thought I'd throw this slide up here. It's a support lifecycle. So again, that announcement that happened on October 25th allows you to see when that end of product support and product enhancement and regulatory updates is going to happen, as well as the security updates ending. And when you are on the fixed lifecycle, there's your mainstream and non-mainstream support, as well as the modern lifecycle for Dynamics GP. Again, that's what we know today. So I wanted to go over some of the offers and promotions that are in market at the moment. So first, we're going to talk about the Business Central Migration Assessment. Some of you would have received emails and information from Encore in your account manager. It was called the AIM Assessment on October 1st. It has a new name. That never happens. Microsoft never changes names, as we saw from the slide earlier about Great Plains. The objective of the Business Central Migration Assessment is to understand the benefits of moving from an older on-premise solution to the cloud, identify business objectives and tie those into the functionality of Dynamics 365 Cloud, learn how to optimize the transition process with a focus on reducing effort and costs. So that's a complementary engagement that we're offering for our customers. Some of you may have gone through that process already, but again, if you need more information about that, we have a bunch of information about it. It tells you exactly how much time it would take, how much effort you have to put in, what we're going to need from you. And again, we're getting lots and lots of great feedback on that migration assessment program, and it is complimentary. Bridge to the Cloud 2, some of you are on Bridge to the Cloud 2. These to the cloud promotions allow you to have dual use rights for both Dynamics GP and Business Central at no extra cost. So when you pay your annual enhancement, you can opt into a Bridge to the Cloud 2 promotion and you'd get licensing for Business Central. So therefore you can start your journey at no extra cost. The next one is the deployment offers. So again, if you decide, that you're planning out in the next 6 months or next 12 months that you're going to go ahead and deploy Business Central, working with Encore, there's a deployment offer of up to $4,500 credit against services. So that's another offer you can take advantage of. So you could take advantage of the assessment of the Bridge to the Cloud 2 and the deployment offer. You're entitled to take all three of those if you wish. Accelerator program is an implementation program we created. It's a scaled down implementation of Business Central for clients that would match to that just have core finance capabilities and could have some SOP, POP, and inventory, minimal, but it mostly is for people who are looking at just core finance. But it's an accelerator program. very flexible in the fact that it can be done in a quick amount of time. And again, through the Business Central migration assessment, we would see if you would be suitable for the accelerator program. Again, a lot of these programs or promotions, you need to be current on your enhancement in order to take advantage of those. So keep that in mind as well. Some quotes from our current customers. This was one of the most painless implementations we've ever experienced. Having worked with older ERPs in the past, Dynamics 365 Business Central's cloud-based solution has made the transition much easier and more efficient. So that was from Eric. And we have another quote. Moving to a cloud-based solution was surprisingly easier than expected. Initially, there was a lot of skepticism. People were hesitant about the cloud. But ultimately, getting people to move to the cloud was one of the least challenging aspects of the project. That was from Maria. Thank you, Maria. This is from a group of clients who have moved from Dynamics GP onto Dynamics 365 Business Central. So the group of them, on average, a 9 to 18% improvement in productivity for finance and operations staff. Deploying Business Central allows finance and operations staff to reduce the amount of time they spend on manually reporting and information reconciliation, while also providing improved visibility and tools to accelerate and improve the quality of decision making. Some have reported freeing up to 1 FTE. Avoiding third-party fees of nearly $30,000 annually. After implementing Dynamics 365, one organization reported eliminating third-party costs as IT staff can internally manage integration and customization work. Avoided costs of legacy ERP solutions and support worth $50,000 over the year. The organization was paying several vendors across its legacy stack while incurring the costs typical to on-premise solutions, including infrastructure, maintenance, personnel costs, and upgrade fees. By consolidating ERP functionality on Business Central, the organization avoids these costs. This one's really important to me, and again, our employees are our most valuable asset, so improved employee experience. With Business Central, finance and operations personnel are less burdened by manual efforts and managing disparate ERP or business solutions. Also, it works with Microsoft solutions. Business Central natively integrates with other Microsoft solutions, which drives additional values from these solutions. I probably could have spent half an hour just talking about Copilot and how it works with Business Central and your M365 licensing, but that's another webinar that we'll be doing. But again, adding valuable time back to people's days, increasing their productivity and their efficiency. That's for another day. So I'm going to go on to if there are any additional questions that didn't come up initially from our initial invite, but just saying that basically the next steps for you are to connect with your account manager. Obviously, we want to connect with you and say, great, where are you on your cloud journey? Do the Business Central migration assessment. I think is a great opportunity for you to explore and see what all the benefits of Business Central are. And I will ask Katie if anyone has put in any questions.
Thanks, Tracey. So again, if anyone does have any questions, please enter them into the question area in the control panel.
And one question we did have ahead of time was about how seamless is this process. So we have a migration tool that goes and works with the GP data and migrates it over to Business Central. And again, you get to choose which data you want to come over. Maybe you want to clean up your master records. Maybe you want to clean up your chart of accounts. Remembering one of the main things, I'm sure you all know this on the call, that GP is a segmented chart of accounts and Business Central is a dimensional chart of accounts. Yahoo, hooray, finally. No more creating accounts that never get used. So there's a tool for that. So again, your information that you had in GP, you'll be able to see that over in Business Central. So again, that's seamless. And again, it works like all our Microsoft applications. So, and the great thing about it, which GP had to an extent, but not as much as perhaps we would like to see as, hey, it's a new system. I don't know. Where do I go and do bank rec, or where do I do a reversing journal entry? It has the search functionality and takes you right to where you need to be to do your work, which is awesome. Some of the materials we'll be sending you afterwards. We have a YouTube playlist, so it shows you all, hey, you did this in GP this way. This is how you do it now in Business Central. So you get that look and feel and get to understand that. That was one of the questions. Somebody asked about their version, how long it's going to be supported. So that slide about the modern lifecycle policy and the fixed lifecycle shows you when support ends for those different things. So that was another question that had come up. But again, if you do have any other questions, you can't think of them right now, or you want to follow up with me later, please feel free to send me an email. I'm here to support you and answer any questions. And if there aren't any questions, we're going to try playing this. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Katie.
There are some questions that are coming in,
Oh,
Tracey, if that's
okay.
okay. We can go into
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
All right. So the first one here is, how long does a typical transition take?
That's an excellent question. So it depends. If you're, say, just core finance, so GLARAP, and reporting, you're looking at probably about 3 months from start to finish, from, getting engaged and going through and to go live. But some clients are more complex. They have sales orders and purchase orders and inventory. Those typically will take, 6 to 8 months. So it really depends. But again, we run the assessment tool. It tells us exactly what functionality you're using GP, so we can set that expectation so that you know how long that project might be. But that's a great question.
This next one here is, until when can we use Microsoft Dynamics GP as is?
Okay, so that's a multi-leveled answer, the question and answer. So the version that you're on determines how long you're going to be supported for. So let's say, for example, I'm on the Modern Lifecycle Policy and I'm on 18.5. Well, the Modern Lifecycle Policy states that you're going to be supported for 1 year, and then you would move to the next release of Modern Lifecycle Policy. Let's say you're on GP 2016. Well, GP 2016 mainstream support is for 5 years, non-mainstream support is for 5 years. So if your question is, how long is it supported? That's what that slide's all about, is how long you'd be supported. Now, I guess GP would keep running and working on your server as long as your infrastructure could still support that. All of you on the call were, I'm sure, totally aware of about 4 or 5 years ago when the email wouldn't work anymore, and that's because Microsoft made a change in the surrounding infrastructure, and so it wouldn't work anymore, and so you had to go and put that update on of GP for the version that would work, and so you could email out. GP is not going to have single sign-on. It's never going to have single sign-on. So we've got that, the MFA impacts it as well. So I can't really answer that question as how long it'll work. I don't know. How long will it work? Do we want to take that risk? And I think that's part of it is not how long GP is going to last for or work. It's all the things that you're missing out on by not moving forward with technology. But good question.
See. Next one here is, can solutions like D365 sales and other modules be implemented before migrating GP to BC?
Absolutely. So if you decide that you want to go ahead and start off fresh with Business Central doing just sales orders, things like that, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Next one is, when does it make sense for a company to consider migrating to D365 F&O instead of Business Central?
Great question. Love those questions. So we call it the multi-X factor. So for example, if I am in multiple countries, I have multiple currencies, I have multiple lines of business, so I'm not just a not-for-profit or I'm not just a services company, or I'm not just a manufacturing company. I have multiple lines of business. So that multi-X factor I wouldn't say companies is a constraint because you can still have unlimited companies in either solution. But when we start thinking about those larger enterprise businesses, that is a better fit for FSCM, or as it used to be called F&O, for sure, because that's the enterprise application from Microsoft. But usually it's the multi-X consideration. Can have something to do with number of users, can have something to do with revenue, annual revenues, but not necessarily.
And I will just quickly add that this presentation will be shared with you later this week. We do have a few more questions. However, Tracy. So how are employees trained that come on after the project is over?
Sorry, Katie, can you repeat that?
I believe this question's asking about training.
Okay. So you're used to GP, you're going to do the implementation of Business Central, people get trained. They're your SMEs, and they're the people that are going to take ownership of that application and train and help train staff and help train new staff. We have tons of resources, videos that we've done. There's lots on Microsoft Learn as well. But if, let's say, I've done the implementation and I'm live on Business Central and I hire someone new, absolutely, you want to be able to have that program in place for them, and you can reuse some of those materials from Encore for sure for onboarding those people. Absolutely. And I would say, when we think about the interface, for me, again, if you guys have known me, I've been here 28 years. When I was born and bred implementing GP, that's all I knew. And then, Nav came along, which then obviously was re-engineered to become Business Central as a cloud solution. When I was doing demos of Business Central, I find it very intuitive. I find it easy to use. And again, in GP, when we had the Windows, and I'm talking, it always reminds me of like early 90s Windows, the forms that you go and enter in, whether it be sales or processing or journal entries, you couldn't easily, as an end user, configure that. Whereas in Business Central, I can promote and demote things that are important to me as a user. So it makes my data entry very seamless and easy. I find it very intuitive. But again, that's one of the reasons you get that bridge to the cloud to option, is that you can go in there and play around with it and become familiar, because you need to take ownership of that.
So the next one is, what are the reporting capabilities in Business Central? So what would replace Management Reporter?
Excellent question. You guys got such great questions today. Lots of reporting options. There is reporting right out of the box with Business Central. It also has reports that just populate and publish to Excel. So typically we start with that and we say, great, based on your reporting requirements that you had with Management Reporter, what does that look like in here? So again, Power BI as well. You can definitely publish your data out into Power BI. Might not be at this date today the best solution for enough financial statements, although that is coming from Microsoft. Some clients do opt to augment the base functionality of Business Central for financial reporting with things like Jet Reports or FYI Soft, etc. They can leverage that. So that's from a financial reporting perspective, but all your other reporting, so if you wanted to do data visualization, very easy. There's Power BI reports and templates already right out of the box with Business Central. And again, all of the Microsoft stack as far as Word goes, Excel. So let's say, for example, we want to update our chart of accounts, or we want to update our item numbers, or we want to update our vendor IDs, or whatever. You dump it out into Excel, fix it up in Excel, and bring it back in again. But I'm assuming your question is just about Management Reporter, so I'd say, great, we do have various options right out of the box on obviously Power BI, but again, depending on your requirements, we would look at whether you need something like Jet Reports or FYI Soft.
Tracy, to build off of that one, for companies that have a high number of customized reports, will there be assistance to transition these reports to the new system?
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, it depends on where the reports are coming from. So for example, are they report writer reports? Are they financial reports, etc.? Absolutely. We're there to work with you and help you make that transition. Absolutely.
So the next one here is about upgrades. So if you move to Business Central, would you need to upgrade each year?
Good question. So Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. So all of our, when we think about Dynamics 365, that whole family, so there's a variety of products under that, 2 ERPs and the CRM. Um, they're all cloud solutions, and so you never have to do an upgrade again. So we think about GP and we do upgrades. For those of you who have attended my other webinars, there aren't any upgrades when we think about that. What happens is typically twice a year, Microsoft is going to push out an update, which would automatically go and update you to the latest build of Business Central. You'll get notified of that and you'll decide when's the timing for you when you want that pushed out. It'll tell you all the things that have been improved, new features, etc. You'll have a sandbox. You can play around with it, see how it's going to impact your business before it actually goes live. But the quick answer is no more upgrades. You're always on the latest version.
So the next one here is about updates, including Canadian payroll. Will that retire in 2029 or will it go until 2031?
No, 2029. The 2031 is only for security updates. Has nothing to do with the actual application. It has to do with anything surrounding GP from a security perspective. Has nothing to do with GP. So that from that slide, let's go back if I can do this here. You can see here that regulatory updates end in 2029.
So the next one here is, can we keep our information should we no longer want to use Business Central? I think if they're on GP and they choose not to go to Business Central.
What you do with GP, what you want to do with it, right? I mean, if you want to keep it on a server and it running there, then you can. There are other options. Clients go and move they'll go and move the SQL database up into the Azure Data Lake, so they have access to it. Yep, those are definitely options.
Question about, is it the cost per month or cost per year? I believe this is referring to Business Central.
For the licensing, it's entirely up to you. You can pay by month, or you can pay by the year. You can lock in your pricing for 3 years. It's entirely up to you.
Next one is connection to a remote server required with Business Central?
It's an online application, so yes, you would have to have access to go online. There is still the option of Business Central on-premise. So like you have GP on-premise, there is still the option of BC on-premise, but that will be going away, I think, in 2026. It's not necessarily what we recommend, because when you have it on-premise, you still have to manually do those updates, like doing an upgrade. Whereas when it's in the cloud, but I'd love to discuss that further, whoever's question that is, if you want to connect with me offline, because I want to understand, is it a connectivity issue? Because we do have clients that are in places where they not necessarily have that connectivity to get to the internet.
I do just want to flag, Tracy, that we are at the 30-minute mark, but there are some questions remaining. Keep going, or if you'd like, we can get back to these questions later today by email.
Yeah, why don't you send me the questions and then we can respond to the people by email for sure.
Thank you, Tracy. And I'll add the link to our events page in the chat if you'd like to check out previous webinars or register for upcoming webinar sessions. I'll also add the link where you can set your email preferences and opt into your email so that you can stay in the know about upcoming events and see our latest blog articles. So again, thank you, Tracy, for the information. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Have a great rest of your day.